Hey everyone, Penguin Bond here from Bushi for Gaming. Wanted to show everyone my Commandramon deck list that just got 10th recently with the PPG Ultimate Cup. I apologize for any weird pauses or weird stuttering over my words. Actually, my first video I'm shooting as well, so hey, there's always that. But just go ahead and get started here. So for the eggs, we have 4 of the Pagumons. Don't run any of the new Missimons or any of that stuff because I like that Pagumon on deletion. I can search for a card. Super helpful, super convenient. You don't end up burning a lot of your resources with it, which is nice. For the rookies, we have a lot of rookies. We have 4 copies of the 2-cost Commandramon. We have 4 copies of the 3-cost on deletion Search Commandramon. We have 4 copies of Decoy Commandramon. 4 copies of Blocker Commandramon. And 3 copies of the 4-cost 5000 DP Commandramon. So just for Commandramons, which we still have 2 rookies left, but just for Commandramons, you're looking at 19, 4 full sets, and then the 3 here. I could add another one in to make it a even 20. Honestly, this may be a bit much too, but it does help in a lot of games where you need to find them, especially if you do find your on deletion Commandramons early. You can usually pull another 1 or 2 out just from its on deletion effect, and the Pagumon will actually find them as well, which does help in case you flip a Pagumon and get a 2-cost Commandramon and your opponent doesn't have a memory tamer out. It's an easy way to choke. Decoy Commandramon, always amazing too. Blocker Commandramon, most of you guys, if any of you guys have ever seen me play, my original main deck was Craniumon, so anything with blocker is near and dear to me. But rounding out rookies, we do have 2 copies of the Chikurimon that helps stop like Death X, anything that reduces play cost. A lot of people asked why I don't run the Chumon, why I don't run, more Commandramons. Honestly, the Chikurimon here just really does help pause someone from playing Death X. It helps stop Dorbikmon, it helps stop Dark Knightmon, it helps stop a lot of things that are still running around the scene. Dorbikmon, probably not as much. Death Xmon, though, definitely is. Beelstar definitely helps against that deck. So, it's a nice little rookie to have, and it's only a 2 off right now. But moving on to our level 4s. Pretty simple lineup for the level 4s. There they are. Got 4 copies of the EX3 Sealsdramon. Has jamming, and then his inheritable, when you play a Digimon with D-Brigade in its traits, it gains Rush for the turn. Now, it's a once per turn, so it can only work on 1 Digimon, but since it gains Rush, you can actually do... I'll show you the play later, but you can do a lot with it. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, 2 Grumblemon, because Grumblemon for game is still a thing. And it does help to just have a tamer in the back and be able to go up and swing when maybe you weren't going to be able to because you didn't have anything in raising. Level 5s, which feels weird to say because Commandramon mostly doesn't run level 5s, or didn't used to. But now with the new Tankdramon, I run 4 of the EX3 Tankdramon. This one is 100 times better than the old Tankdramon, which let you do it on when attacking. You could reveal and play a Commandramon. This one is just when Digivolving, so that effect is meh. But it does let you play up to a 5 cost, so you can play your Sealsdramon from it if you find it in that top 3 and don't find any Commandramons. But the inheritable is when attacking, you can reveal 2 cards. When you attack with a D Brigade, you can reveal 2 cards and play 1 Commandramon among them and trash the other. The trash part is the important part, just like up here. You reveal 3, you play 1 trash 2, so you can build your trash fairly quickly. It goes into the next Digimon that comes up, which is the level 6s. I'm running 3 copies of the old school Darkdramon and 2 copies of the new Darkdramon. The new Darkdramon doesn't come up as much because you do need to find your level 5s. You do need to, basically have not a great stack right here, but it's the only stack you really have. You do need to have your full stack for it to sort of Digivolve on and then proc everything else to go off. Whereas this one, you can still Digivolve the old one on. Sorry, my camera got all janky there. You can still Digivolve the old one on top of these, but you don't really get as much bonus out of Digivolving this onto here because it doesn't reduce Digivolution costs or anything like that. It'll still just be a 3 Digivolution. You're just doing it to get the inheritables. But when you put this one on, you can fully reduce it by 5 if you have 5 D Brigade that you can put to the top of your deck. And then when you swing, you'll want to proc Tankdramon's effect first, which is you can flip 2, play a Commandramon from them, trash the other. Then Darkdramon will go off. When you play a D Brigade, you delete an opponent's Digimon with play cost less than or equal to that, so it helps for clearing out memory blockers or opponent's Chikurimons if you really want to play your Death X. And then you can unsuspend him, so you can basically swing for 2 attacks. Now everything's once per turn, but still that's 2 attacks and basically board flooding, which is always good. And then old school Darkdramon, plain and simple, you play them basically for 3 when you put 5 from your trash to your deck that are D Brigade, and he counts as a D Brigade, Darkdramon counts, Tankdramon counts, Sealsdramon counts, so anything with D Brigade in its traits can go back to the top of your deck, which does help you recycle these guys in case you end up trashing 2 of them earlier and only have 1 in your hand. You can keep recycling the ones from the trash just by putting them on top of your deck and getting them back that way. Rounding out Digimon, we have, of course, what everyone else has, 2 copies of Death Xmon. Some decks only run 1, some decks run 2, I've seen a deck that ran 4. Really sort of pick your poison. It can be a dead card if you play against like Melga or someone who doesn't really want to go wide. They just want to build their stack and call it a day. But the bonus with him, at least in black decks, is that he can Digivolve on top of the Darkdramon if you really need him to. And then it will still only cost 6, but you still can control the other person's board. And it gets around the Chikurimon effect. Same with purple decks, they can Digivolve him, which does come up sometimes. Moving on from Death X and our Digimon, we go into our Tamers. Staple in every deck that I run, pretty much, to Izzy. Izzy is probably the best Tamer, I would say, at least for right now in black. Just because you can reveal the 3, you know what play you're going to do next, and you gain a memory back from that. So he's a 3-cost memory setter Tamer that lets you basically get a little bit ahead of the game. And it does help if you're really looking for Death Xmon or you're really looking for Darkdramon. You can put them, if it's the 3rd card you were going to draw, you can put it right at the top and bam, your play is going next turn. And then I was running 4 Kazu. Not 100% sure I want to stick with 4. it is nice for the suspend, draw, trash to help build up your D brigades and your trash, but not sure if I want to stick with 4, if I want to take one out and maybe go either another Izzy or possibly like another Commandramon or something like that. Gonna play with it again tonight in a locals tourney online and just see how it sort of feels and go from there. And then rounding out the 50 card deck, we have 6 options. We have 3 Pride Memory Boost because, you know, Pride Memory Boost is a thing. Dark Knightmon, Commandramon decks, Dark Knightmon decks. Anything that wants to spam the board quickly that has a lot of cheaper options between 4s and 3s will play this because not only are you putting 1 card out, you're trashing 2 others and then gaining 2 memory later. So it does help. It is nice. And this in turn with, if say you got lucky and had Izzy turn 1 and had Izzy and this in hand, you could play the Izzy, reorganize your top so you draw what you don't want to trash, and then play the Pride Memory Boost next turn, knowing you're going to play something, or maybe you save it because the Izzy showed 2 6s and an option. Like, you know, you're not going to get anything out of it. You're not going to get value out of it, so you hold on to it. And then finally, the last 3 cards are all the same. Ultimate Flare. This card is amazing. I don't think there's another way around it. It's just good. It's the D-Digivolve 3, and then wipe all play cost of 3 or less. This card saved me in a few matches, but mainly in the Melga match when he swung. It hit this, it de-digivolved his stack and popped his Gabumon that he had just put out. And he was hesitant on swinging or not, so it was like, do I want to, do I not? And then he did, and it was the first card that popped out, and I was like, ooh, well that completely saved my whole game. But yes, this is the deck that got me 10th. I did have a list of my matches, and I totally, honestly, don't know where that went. I did find my match list. Sorry. I know the first one I played was Grandis. That was my only loss of the day, unfortunately, with Grandis. If you brick, that is literally all she wrote. During that match, only played 2 games, and in both games I could not find any Darkdramon whatsoever. Through the trash, through the search, 1 game, the second game, which was the problem game, all 3 of these were in security. Sometimes you just get that unlucky and you can't do anything about it. And by the time I could find a Tankdramon to really play this one, it was too late. Grandis was already swinging and there was nothing you can do about it. The 2nd through 7th games, I don't really remember the order because it was a very fast-paced day. But I ended up playing an Examon deck, Commandramon mirror match, which is always fun because it's basically whoever can get Death X on the field first to control usually wins. Dorbikmon, that was an interesting one. Especially if you can't find your Chikurimon, because Chikurimon can stop Dorbik in its tracks, which is nice. Because yeah, Dorbik can delete it, and they have a few other ways to get rid of it too. But if it's on, it basically stalls you a turn, and that 1 turn stall was the one I needed to just swing out. Played 2 Dark Knightmons, which is really cool that I saw 2 of them in the higher up standings. Because they were a little bit later. Game 7 was against Dark Knightmon. And game, I want to say 5 was against Dark Knightmon, but it was later into the day because it only did go 8 rounds. But game 7 being against Dark Knightmon was cool. Just to see that that's getting some representation in the higher ones too. Did play the Melga, which I went over a little bit. Melga, it's luck of the draw. If you swing, because this deck you have to basically send your rookies out and just be like, well, you know, I got an army of rookies here, and we're just gonna swing all day. But the problem is, you hit a Cool Boy, you hit a Davis, you hit a Megadeth, you hit, you know, stuff that does not help this deck. It sort of ruins your game plan a little bit. Luckily, game 3, I didn't hit any Cool Boys, and that helped a lot. Game 1, I hit like 2 Cool Boys in Security, and that was all she wrote. And then my last match was versus SecCon. SecCon, one of the people on our team, Dr. Security Control, aptly named for playing Security Control decks, taught me very quickly that with Security Control and this type of deck, you don't worry what's going to pop out of Security, because they're going to constantly recover. All you do is turn your cards sideways as quick as you can and just see what happens. That deck doesn't really bounce, so this Commandramon will go off. You'll have the decoy to protect stuff in case they do the purple option, the Schwartz option. But most of them run like DP reductions and the new yellow options, so it doesn't come up as much, but honestly with it, you just need to swing as much as you can, and if you get lucky, game 3, I ended up having 2 of these in hand and 10 D-Brigades in trash, so it basically just sealed the deal, because I could swing with the 3 I had on the field, swing the 4th attack with this, and then swing for game with this one, because I ended up with 6 memory. Because Security Control will give you memory. At the end of the day, though, you just have to pray something good is not in Security. Game 3, I think I hit, I want to say 4 Tamers in Security, which by that point, since I was swinging for game, that's what you want to see. You don't want to go swinging for game and hit, you know, Holy Wave or Holy Flame or Recover or any recovery, any deletion, anything. It would have just been game over. But yeah, so that is my Commandramon top 10 deck. If you guys have any questions, please put them in the comment. Like I said, first video, so sorry it's a little spotty. Still trying to get used to OBS and all this fun stuff. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hope to see a few Commandramon decks out there. Best of luck to everyone who does pick it up. Awesome deck. I main black myself, so Craniumon, Darktramon, Dark Knightmon, that's pretty much my wheelhouse. If I ever play Security Control, you know something has gone horribly wrong and the meta is very weird. But other than that, I wish you all luck. Thanks for coming and checking this out, and make sure to follow the B4G, Bushi for Gaming YouTube. We also have Twitch, and we also have Instagram, and we have bi-weekly tournaments Wednesdays. We have a Discord server. Definitely come check us out.